Greetings everyone, this is Stirring It Up with Chef Beee Live. I'm here at Eat Fresh, and today our guest is Dr. Deneen Grace, better known as Dr. D. Today we're talking cancer prevention, and we're talking about healing foods that are going to support you as you are on your healing journey if you are dealing with cancer, and also some essential oils. So we're going to go on ahead and get started. So, Dr. D, before we actually ask you some questions about, what you do and all that you do, I just want you all to know we're going to be making today an alkalining soup. It's a sexy, not sexy drink. There's not a lot of bold, delicious flavors that we're used to, but this particular beverage that we're going to prepare today is super, 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 super healthy for you if you are on a journey to wellness, and that's with or without cancer.
Exactly.
Absolutely right. All right, so we're gonna deal with that in a little bit. But Dr. D, so Dr. Deneen Grace is the bomb. I know all these amazing women in Atlanta,
including you.
Thank you. I met Dr. D maybe 3.5 years ago. I was actually one of her students. She was teaching yoga.
Yes.
At Cherish Life Yoga Studio. And what wasn't like it was vinyasa flow? What was it?
It was a gentle vinyasa flow.
Gentle vinyasa flow. And then I found out that she does all these other amazing things. So I want you to tell them a little bit about yourself and the work that you do.
Absolutely. So I am Dr. Deneen Grace. I am a scientist. I have my PhD in molecular biology from Georgia State University. Yes. I've worked in the areas of research, starting out in academia, then kind of moving over to the pharmaceutical field, and eventually transitioned out of that into working with patients that have cancer. And it all started because my grandmother was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. Pretty much at that time terminal. Needed assistance, speaking with her doctors, having intelligent, educated discussions with them, understanding her medications, the side effects that happen when you have cancer treatments, and then also just trying to make some changes and tweaks to her diet as she was going through her cancer journey.
Wow. So tell them a little bit now, okay, there are all of these amazing folks that I've been getting the privilege to work with. You were a student at IIN. Actually, when I was thinking about going to IIN, you were going through IIN.
Exactly.
All right?
Yes.
And tell them a little bit about how that work and that journey just kind of helped you to do this, your work with cancer patients now.
Yes, absolutely. What IIN provided for me was really a cohesive system, a health and wellness program that I can use with my clients. Starting with, what we're doing today is like adding in good foods, because a lot of people, they're still dealing with those cravings. They're dealing with the sugar cravings, the wheat cravings, and it's hard for them to make changes. But as I tell them, once you start adding in good food, you'll notice your taste buds will start to change.
Yes,
and you're not going to be craving as much as you were before. I love the primary foods concept that IAM provides, starting with exercise. I always start with exercise. I think it's the easiest thing to kind of tackle with a lot of people. Next is the spirituality, the relationships and the career. Those are important things for people to focus in on. And the last thing about IAN, it really gave me everything I needed to work with clients in a health and wellness program, and just laid it out, for like a 6-month program with them.
So tell me what you're finding, because you're working with cancer patients. What kinds of people come to you first and foremost, and what kinds of issues around cancer have you been seeing since you're a researcher? What has been sort of increasing, changing in the cancer landscape?
Right. So certainly in female cancers, it is going to be breast cancer. That has definitely been increasing. Breast cancer in younger women has been increasing. And
really?
Yes, women that are younger than 50 years old. I've been seeing a lot of that. So women are coming to me that are still working, that still have to go to chemo, that still have to deal with their treatments as they're trying to keep a full-time job, which is very challenging. Extremely challenging because of the side effects that they're dealing with from the chemotherapy. In men, we're seeing an increase in younger African American men, younger when I mean less than 50 years old, prostate cancer or some
Really?
sort of prostate issue. And what's fortunate about prostate cancer, of course you don't want to diagnose this, is that it typically is a slow growing disease. Like most men will die of something else before they die of prostate cancer.
So if they're dying of prostate, that's meaning that they didn't necessarily get it treated.
Exactly.
Or they're not doing their annual screenings or whenever you're supposed to screen.
They've just it's just advanced, beyond the actual organ. It's advanced regionally or it's advanced systemically.
And so what do you think, from your work, because I have an idea, and I don't know if it's a true idea, in regards to the breast cancer. Is it, you think, cell phones, or is it more increase in radiation exposure, or is it stress, or is it a combination? What kinds of things are you thinking?
I think, honestly, I think it's a combination of things. Honestly, I think it's mostly stress, right? Diet certainly is important in this whole landscape as well, but stress and lack of exercise, lack of just getting fresh air, lack of getting sunlight. Vitamin D is so important when it comes to cancer prevention. And
really?
Yes. I mean,
I didn't know that.
There are volumes of scientific studies that show vitamin D is key in preventing cancer and your cancer prevention lifestyle. Because most cultures globally that are outdoors a lot have very low cancer rates.
Right.
And so I always tell clients that I work with, especially in the northern states, that they need to be taking a vitamin D supplement. They need to be outside as much as possible.
I take my vitamin D.
There you go. Take your supplement, at least a minimum of 1,000 international units of vitamin D, and try to get outside as much as possible. Exercise outside. That's one big thing that I tell people, and you'll be amazed, at how much better you feel exercising outdoors as opposed to indoors. Just getting the fresh air and getting the sunlight.
So it's not about going to the gym all the time.
No, my gym is Stone Mountain Park.
Nice.
I walk the trails, I walk up the mountain, I do my
I'm getting looks over there.
I even do my weight training. I brought a 10-pound bar that I take with me, and I just do my upper body out there like
Nice.
I do everything at Stone Mountain Park. And you can do the same thing wherever you are.
Nice, I love that. So work out wherever you are.
Yes.
But if you cannot get outside because it is getting cold outside,
That's true.
you want to get some exercise in regardless.
Yes, you do.
So get your exercise in.
Get
Even
it
if you walk, that's cool too.
Walking, I have no problem. I kind of, you want to get back into a childlike mindset. What did you do when you were a kid?
Right.
You put on your rain slick, you
Right.
put on your rain boots, and you go outside and you walk.
And you just walked and you ran and you did all sorts of
You
stuff.
did it,
Okay.
So I have no problem with the weather. I have no problem with the elements.
Okay. So, y'all, in or outdoors, we need to
Yeah.
exercise. We also need to make sure that we're getting tested regardless for our vitamin D
Yes.
levels. And not every doctor does that.
No.
So you have to ask your doctor to check your vitamin
Good
D
point.
levels. And if in fact it is low, and low is what?
So that's a point of contention. Low can be less than 40 nanograms
Right.
in African Americans.
Yes.
My primary care doctor does tests because she believes and
Exactly.
she understands the
Mine
science
too.
behind it. So she tells me I need to work it up to greater than 50.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
if it's greater than 50, then we're in a good range.
Exactly. Yes. So, and that was mine too. It was a little around the 50 mark.
Yep.
So we did, just for a time period, some vitamin D supplementation.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. So we're gonna get back into some of the work that you do with folks who are suffering, living with cancer. But this is something that we learned. We actually found out that we went to this place called the Living Foods Institute. For me, when did you go?
2016.
Okay, I went in 2012.
Okay.
All right, and if you don't know about the Living Foods Institute, it's this amazing place where you learn about raw foods, and it helps you to have tools, emotional tools, food preparation tools, just a variety of tools so that you can address whatever chronic illness you have. And one of the things that we learned how to make, and I'm actually changing the name of it because Ours is a little different. This is called an alkalining soup. We can talk a little bit about alkalining the body if you are diagnosed with cancer. The premise is because cancer flourishes and proliferates in an acidic state or acidic space, when we alkaline the body, we're basically mitigating growth, right? And what we're going to show you how to make, this is something that anybody could drink anytime. When I went to the Living Foods Institute, I actually drank this for 6 months. This was my primary drink. And I wasn't dealing with cancer or anything like that. I just loved the way I felt on this.
Yep.
And then I had like one meal, like one beautiful meal, right? But this was my meal throughout the day. So this is called our alkalining soup. So I'm going to tell you all the things that's inside, and we're going to build it. All right, so like I said, we changed it, but we tried to keep true to some of the basic ingredients. So I have an alkaline machine, and so we're going to use 5 to 6 cups. I think let's see where we are with this. But you usually use like 5 to 6 cups of alkaline water, right? And I'm actually going to put my soup in there. And let me see where we are here. We're at 4, so I'm going to just add a little bit more. All right, so we have 5 cups of, I was looking for the top. Oh, here we go. Of alkaline water. All right, so the other thing that we're going to add in here, we're going to add in here a half of an apple. And this is just to give it a little sweetness, but not really, because it's not very sweet. All right.
Can I say a little bit about the apples?
Go ahead.
Some really good cancer preventing foods are apples. And one reason is that they have flavonoids. Flavonoids are these bioactive compounds that are just really healthy. That's what creates the pigments in the foods. One particular flavonoid called apigenin was recently studied in mice to show that it actually reduces breast tumors.
Wow.
So, apigenin is a flavonoid. You can find it in apples, you can find it in parsley, you can find it in carrots, you can find it in really anything that's highly pigmented. So you want to eat the fruit of the rainbow. You want to eat the foods of the rainbow.
Yes.
Because they have all of these really great bioactive compounds and the cancer-preventing compounds in them.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. They just said it's because it helps to cut down some of this taste.
Exactly.
All right.
But they're good fruits.
And one of the things I want to say is, as we add, all of these things are organic. All right.
Yes.
So we want to, when you're dealing with a diagnosis like cancer, you want to try to get the best quality produce in your body as much as possible. So we're going to also use a half of an avocado.
Isn't aren't apples part of the dirty dozen? Are they on the
Yes,
dirty dozen
it is,
list?
right. And the skin is very, very thin.
Yeah.
So these are fruits and or vegetables that are sprayed heavily. You want to make sure that you find them in organic form, because they're going to be grown responsibly and with integrity. All right. If you can find a local apple orchard in your respective place, you know, where you live, that's even better.
I know,
right?
it's apple picking time.
It is apple picking time. All right, so I added in a half of an avocado, and then I'm gonna also add in, this is a little different, the seed, all right? So oftentimes people disregard, they just get rid of the avocado seed. One of the reasons why I add the seed is because it's high in potassium, all right? And for me, I like to have a lot of potassium, helps to regulate blood pressure, all those good things. All right, I want us to talk a little bit about the cruciferous vegetables, because the original recipe calls for a spring mix, and that's not necessarily a cruciferous vegetable, right? So let's talk a little bit about the cruciferous vegetables and why that's important.
Yeah, this beautiful kale here is on the cruciferous vegetable list. Cruciferous vegetables are about, in the U.S., about 10 different cruciferous vegetables, and they include broccoli, cauliflower, kale, turnips, all of your greens, your collards, your mustards, and your turnip greens, and cauliflower as well. Cruciferous vegetables are one of the vegetables that have been really the most studied when it comes to cancer prevention. The reason why is because they noticed, that's the kale too, okay? So you have 2 different kinds.
Yeah,
okay.
the dinosaur and then the curly leaf.
Yes.
Yep.
The reason why is because they noticed that cancer survivors who ate more of these vegetables actually had longer lifespans, so they increased their survivorship. That was colon cancer patients, breast cancer patients, and prostate cancer patients. So for any cancer survivor out there, you want to be eating cruciferous vegetables. When I go through my health and wellness program through Bedside Manners and I work with clients, I make sure they work themselves up to about eating 3 servings of cruciferous vegetables a day, preferably raw, mostly salads or in smoothies. So this is perfect.
This is perfect.
Perfect for them.
So the other thing that we want to say about this alkalining soup is one of the reasons why we're taking it in this form is because, one, everything in here is raw. And from a nutrition standpoint and for a digestion standpoint, it's high, it's nutrient dense. You're gonna get everything that you need in this particular soup. And if you drink this throughout the day, you're gonna get all your vital nutrients. You're gonna also get the enzymes that you need to digest everything in here, and it's very gentle on the body, all right? So we have our cruciferous vegetables. The other piece that's gonna be critical in here are sprouts, right? Sprouts are amazing. They have a lot of energy. They're energetic foods. And I actually decided, you know what? We have sunflower sprouts here. You can take a look, sunflower sprouts. We also have some radish sprouts. So I was thinking cruciferous vegetables and the different sprouts that we can add to this that are cruciferous, right? So we have our broccoli, sprouts. We have our radish sprouts, and then we have our sunflower sprouts. Okay.
And what I love about the sprouts is that not only for cancer prevention, but also chronic diseases. Period. This is going to help lower. It'll support lower blood sugar.
Yes.
It's not going to raise the blood sugar, which has been implicated in heart disease, of course, diabetes. Heart disease and diabetes really kind of go hand in hand, as the research is suggesting. And also diabetes and now cancer are kind of going hand in hand. Because as we know, cancer cells feed off of sugar.
That's right.
When you go to the hospital and you've been diagnosed with a tumor, they're going to do a PET scan. And in that PET scan, they're going to add glucose to some sort of radioactive material to highlight or brighten the tumor on the actual film, so they can see it, they can locate it, they can see where it is. So they know that the cancer cells are taking up a lot of sugar, and
that's what they're growing on.
That's what they're growing on. So we want to keep our blood sugar at stable levels throughout the day, and this is going to really help with that.
So I'm going to add in here. So I went to the farmer's market today, and for me, I'm so grateful living here in the South. We have so many local urban farms, and one of my girls, Patrick City Farms, this is, we call these Easter egg radishes, all right? And one of the things that she likes to do, I'm gonna rinse this off a little bit. She likes to just add, like saute up her radishes. But since we're doing raw, I said, oh my gosh, I'm gonna just add this to the alkalining soup. So we're just gonna rinse this off, right? And then what you can do while I'm rinsing, we're gonna also add in some of these sprouts. So we have the actual sprouts that have grown from soil, and then we have sprouts that you can actually do yourself. And it's very, very easy to sprout. Oh yeah. So we have some adzuki sprouts in here. We have some lentil sprouts in here. And so let's just add that in and tell them a little bit more about sprouts.
So the good thing about sprouts, they actually add protein. A lot of people who go on to a vegetarian diet say, well, where am I going to get my protein from? Well, vegetables contain protein, but you can also use sprouted beans to add some protein here. Also, the enzymes in these are really, really important, as well as in the leafy sprouts, because they're going to help provide your digestive system with the enzymes that it needs to digest your food. As you age, the enzymes, the acids in your stomach that help to break down the food start to decline a bit. So these are providing good enzymes to your digestive system to help break down food.
All right, and then we're also going to add in some sea vegetables. So when we're talking about minerals, trace minerals, this is kelp, just so you can see. This is kelp, and I'm going to add maybe about 4 of these. So it's typically half of a tablespoon. So I'm going to add that in, and I'm also going to add in a little bit of dulse. So you don't have to do both, but you can do one or the other. If you have them, add them together. But people like dulse. People like dulse.
You really don't taste this once you blend it.
Once you blend it, you don't taste it. Exactly. All right, and
now, is this a smoothie or this a high-powered smoothie? You say soup.
We call it a soup because when you drink this, you're going to basically drink this at room temperature, and you're going to drink this throughout the day. So I'm going to show you how you can actually, you know, when you blend this up, you would probably put some inside of a jar. You can carry this, maybe fill 2 of these up. The goal is to drink this entire thing up throughout the day, all right? And that's your meal for the day.
And that'll be about, what, 6 cups?
So this is actually going to be more because the water was 6 cups, right? So we're talking like maybe 8 cups, 8 to 9 cups, right? So I'm going to just add a little bit of flaxseed, get my omegas in there, right? And then we're gonna just blend away, right? And then we're gonna start off slow, and then we're gonna raise the speed. The goal is to make this nice and smooth and creamy.
You want to say hello to our studio audience?
All right.
Hello.
I'm happy to be here. Yes,
Good to
thank
see
you so
ya.
much for being here. So let me say something about that avocado seed. We want to make sure that we're using a high-powered blender that can really handle that avocado seed, right? So how long, when you went to the Living Food Institute, did you drink this afterwards?
I did. I still drink it.
Okay, good.
I still drink it.
Okay, good. Yes.
When is the last time you drank some?
Yesterday.
Ah.
I didn't drink any today, okay?
We're gonna have some today.
Trying to get here.
Yes.
But I'll have some today.
Do you see this?
Yes.
I'm just gonna raise it up a little bit higher just to make sure that everything is incorporated well.
Now I get a lot of questions about blenders because most people have like the regular, you know, less than $100 blender.
Nah. So I'm telling you, when I went there to Living Foods, I just wanted to make sure that I had all the right tools.
Yes.
And a Vitamix is where it's at.
Yeah.
A Vitamix is basically going to, it's a professional grade blender. It's going to get everything smooth. You can do soups, you can do raw soups in here. So I think a Ninja is...
Well, Ninja's still on the lower end.
Right.
But it actually does okay.
It does okay.
But
yeah.
I have a blend tech.
You have a blend tech.
I love my blend tech. Now the blend tech is in the same price range as the Vitamix.
That's
Okay.
next level.
Yes.
And you can still, you know, get the same thing,
Yes.
the same outcome.
Yes.
It's a high power blender. It will crush. All
everything.
the seeds. That avocado seed will be crushed and blended perfectly.
Yes.
So
We
yeah.
have a question. Which Vitamix are you using?
So I'm actually using an old one. This is called the Creation GC. This is an older model. They do have some newer models where the actual the I call this a cup or the pitcher is shorter. So they're actually engineered a little bit differently, but it doesn't hold as much. All right, but the engine of it is
It's
a
still
lot.
the same.
It's stronger actually. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but this has been I've had this since 2012.
They last forever.
They last forever, and I actually got this refurbished on the Vitamix website.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
So I
there you
didn't.
go.
I mean, I paid a pretty penny.
Sure.
But it
You
wasn't
still,
the same
yeah.
price. Yeah.
And
so
6 years strong.
yes,
Still
I'm still doing pretty good. So I love Vitamixes.
Okay.
And I'll say this: we have 2 blenders at home. If we want something quick, grab it on the go, we will put it in the Ninja because you have that cup
That's
that's
right,
portable.
that's right.
But whenever I'm doing things like this with, you know, like avocado seeds or just carrots, things that are a
Right.
little bit more dense, I want it to be pulverized. I'll use my Vitamix. Okay. All right. So then what I would do, this is what it looks like. So you can get a closer view. Again, this isn't sexy, y'all, but it's so good for you.
I know.
It's so amazing. And what you would do is you would just fill this up. You fill this all the way up. Okay. And then you just take this with you. If you have another one of these, you fill that up. And your goal is to sip on this throughout the day
Yes.
so that you can get everything that you need. All right? You want some?
Perfect. Yes, I would love
You want
some.
some?
Since I haven't had mine today.
Okay, let me get, I'm coming over here. Let me get, would you like to try some too? All right, we're going to let you try some.
You can't be in the audience without trying what we
you
make.
gotta try
Are we gonna
it.
kick you out? Are we gonna kick you out?
I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, it's, like I said, this is just good stuff. It's just good for you.
There you go.
All right, so here we go.
You may want to speak to that because a lot of people are so accustomed to things tasting good, but You have to start with it being good,
Yes.
then you make it taste good.
So
if you
when
have
you're
to.
on a healing journey, it's all about resetting the body.
It is.
And so really one of the things that we're doing is you just want to make sure that you are
What's up,
resetting your
Iwi
palate.
crew?
All right, so this is the unsexy, sexy alkaline
It'll make you
soup.
look sexy,
okay.
but it don't taste sexy.
So yeah,
I'm looking at my phone.
yeah. You
Right.
need to try this.
I'm right here with the cook waiting.
This is just it's so good for you.
Let's get their reaction.
Yes.
Hold on. Let's give them all.
Oh, wait, I'm nervous.
Hold on.
Let's give them all the cup. We get all the looks.
Yes, indeed.
It's an acquired taste.
It is. Now I'll
But I
say
know it's
this:
different.
when
Come
you
on, get
first
yours.
start,
Get yours.
I'm nervous.
when you first start drinking this, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
After a while, you will actually
Sexy.
like, you know what? I like
The
this
unsexy, sexy smoothie.
alkaline
Sexy,
soup.
cheers.
It's a make you
Cheers.
sexy.
All right, let's see.
It's a make you sexy
It'll
smoothie.
make you sexy for real. Yeah, look at that.
Got that roll.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is a healing food for people who are suffering with some sorts of different kinds of chronic diseases, in particular cancer. All right.
Really?
So yes, it's not gonna have a whole lot of those bold flavors. That's not the goal of this. The goal is to give the body nutrients. The goal is to give the body just foods that it needs that's simple to digest. Right. And you just sip
Got
on this
another one?
throughout the day. Yeah, I do. That one's mine.
Well, comments,
What you
reactions.
think?
Good.
It's good, thank you.
Yes.
You feel sexy? I feel sexy already.
Sexy. Yes.
Nourishing. I like
It's
this.
nourishing. Absolutely. And it will reset your palate, y'all. So the foods that you
Yes.
like, you taste, like if you're eating like a lot of savory foods, and you stop eating that, and you really focus on this for a while, when you actually eat those foods again, you're like, oh my god, it's super rich, because this is resetting the palate. It will reset the palate, and it will help to balance your blood sugar as well. Oh yeah. All right, so the other thing that we're gonna make, this is just a really simple,
There's more.
there's more. Real simple though, again. Real simple. So I actually went to the market and there's mustards. Mustards is also a cruciferous. But these have Mizuna. Have you ever heard of Mizuna?
I have heard of it.
It has like a peppery flavor, all right? So this is a Mizuna mix, mustard green mix.
Nice.
So it's very spicy. So to add to this, just so we are just keeping our flavors very simple, this is some spiced nut mix. And these nuts have been soaked and sprouted, and they have a little bit of honey. They have some cayenne pepper, some raisins, and we're gonna use this. This is gonna be the base of the flavoring of this salad. And then we're gonna add a little bit of the apple cider vinegar.
Now, why is it important to soak the nuts?
All right, so one of the things that I always tell my viewers whenever we are talking about releasing enzyme inhibitors, we want to make sure that we're soaking our nuts. Some people are very sensitive, their digestive systems are very sensitive. And so if you're eating nuts that have not been soaked, you might get some tummy upset.
Yes.
And so we want to make sure that we are soaking our nuts so that we can release those enzyme inhibitors, and then it just helps our body to access the nutrients that our food is trying to deliver to us. And like, this is it. This is all I would do.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all that we would do. So we're gonna get you to try a little bit of this.
Try some Mizuno, some mustard greens.
Real simple,
Real simple.
right? Yeah, and it's super
And these
spicy.
are fresh from the farmer's market.
Like today.
Nice.
Okay, like today.
Looks delicious.
Yeah, and just, I mean, I want us to get back to foods that are healing. Girl, use your hands, right?
I know, right?
Get back to foods that are healing. All right, what we can also do is we can add some radishes to this.
Absolutely.
All right, radishes are cancer-fighting foods, like hardcore, right? They say that they're different, and maybe you can speak to this a little bit more than I can, but when I was in, we did a show in Bermuda, and one of my girlfriends, she is a botanist, the Bahamas, and she raves about radishes. She talks about how they have some key components to help fight cancer. Out of 4 of them, they have, I think, 3 of them.
So radishes, they're not necessarily on the cruciferous vegetable list, but they are very much cancer-fighting foods. when you look at the skin, they're red, which is great. Flavonoids galore. When you taste them, you taste a little bit of that spice,
Yes,
that
the kick.
that kick. And you taste that same thing in your mustard greens and your watercress. You'll notice with that, that spice is really kind of that cancer-fighting chemical. Again,
Ooh.
more
you go.
more apples. Yes, an
There you
apple.
go. They like it.
Exactly. And so with radishes, you definitely want to add them to your salads. I even tell my clients they could do this as a dip. So instead of like carrots,
Right.
which are, you know, kind of on that borderline, like is it hybrid, you know,
Right.
substitute it with radishes, celery, or, you know, something like that, some other hard vegetable. But if you can do it for your dips, such as, you know, avocado dip, if you have guacamole, or hummus or something like that. Homemade hummus is great. So radishes are it.
And actually, the ones that I just cut, these are considered Easter
egg
radishes. And then these here that I've cut, this is your watermelon radishes.
Those are delicious.
Oh yeah, I love these. I love these a lot. And so you can just shake it up. You know, I'm telling you, before I knew all that I know now about radishes, I was not feeling it like that. And now I'm like,
It can be an acquired taste.
oh yeah, but I love them now. I'm like, okay, this
But
is
you know
awesome.
what? You just sprinkle a little bit of apple cider vinegar on them.
Yeah.
They taste delicious.
And then you can even add in a little bit of the avocado as well, right?
Yeah, I think some fats are key when you talk
Yes.
about vegetables, because we know we have water-soluble vitamins. We also have fat-soluble vitamins.
Yes.
The fat-soluble vitamins, they're going to be released and absorbed better when you have some fats in your salad. So adding an avocado, adding a little bit of olive oil or coconut oil to your salads are important
Oh yeah.
to release all the vitamins.
This is so pretty. Just keep it simple. Simple. All right, and then one of the last things that we want to talk about are essential oils.
Yes.
So I know that you've actually gotten some training on how to use essential oils with your client, and you know, I use essential oils all the time, particularly in the food. So there's one protocol that's awesome if you are really trying to help cancer from growing, and that's frankincense. You're gonna use lemon, and you're gonna also use rosemary. I'm still out my first, so I'm gonna just have frankincense here. Where's my lemon?
It was right
You
here.
have it, there you go. And then we have rosemary. So what you would do is you can get gel caps, you know, those little empty gel caps. You can add 3 to 4 drops of each of these oils to the gel cap. And what you would do is you would drink this twice a day. And this is just helping the cancer from proliferating through the body. So you do this daily as part of your, you know, morning and evening routine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's key with the essential oils is, you know, clearly they come from plants.
Yes.
But the main thing is that they have terpenes in them and phenol type compounds, which are cancer fighting compounds. And because of that, because they're concentrated, they have been shown to help cancer patients. There aren't a whole lot of scientific studies on this, but even the inhalation of them
Yes.
can lower the stress hormone cortisol, which when that particular hormone is elevated, it raises your blood sugar. It's one reason why people say, well, I can't seem to lose this last 5 pounds around my belly. And I always ask them, are you dealing with stress? You know, if you're dealing with stress, you know, that's one of the reasons why you have elevated cortisol levels. And they've been shown now that in cancer patients, yoga is really important to help with the survival rates of cancer patients now. Mindfulness meditation. So University of Miami, other universities are looking into wellness programs that can help extend the survivorship of cancer patients.
And then you also mentioned to me wild orange, right?
Wild orange,
so tell
yeah.
me about that wild orange again. I know it's not a study that was done in humans,
Right.
but you said in rats, right?
Yeah, it was an animal-based study, but they basically put topical orange oil on the mammary glands of mice, and they showed that the breast tumors decreased over time. They did a study in humans just to look at the safety of that, because as you know, with like orange oil, lemon oil, it can be phototoxic if you expose your skin to the sun. So you have to be careful. You have to put it in a carrier oil. But they showed it to be safe and absorbed easily into the breasts of human volunteers. So that to me is suggesting that there could be some potential. We need more, more research on that. But could be some potential there when it comes to breast tumors and the orange oil.
Wow. So what are some things that we can leave folks with in regards to cancer prevention? We know, make sure you get your vitamin D levels checked, exercise outdoors.
Yes.
Anything else people can do?
Cruciferous vegetables all day long. There's 10 vegetables, like I mentioned, that are here in the U.S. readily accessible, and pretty much any, there you go, it is good. At any grocery store, start off with, most people know broccoli and cauliflower. Branch off into your kale, your dinosaur kale, which we use today, your turnips, mustard, and collard greens. One thing I suggest is, don't cook your collard greens to death, and please don't cook them in fat bags.
No, you don't even have to cook them.
Don't cook, if you can, don't cook them. Learn how to soften the greens, using oil, using the apple cider vinegar or Bragg's amino acids, and learn how to manipulate them so they're easily palatable.
Even though they're raw. So that actually I have a recipe for marinated collard
there you go.
in the cookbook that's coming.
There you go.
So awesome. Anything else? Any other things that they can be doing?
Stress prevention is key. You can get that through exercise. That's why I do say exercise outdoors. I think you just feel better
You just do. It's
connecting
true.
to nature some way,
You do.
somehow. But then
Stress is
meditation,
crazy.
or some sort of relaxation technique daily, and use the essential oils with that. The frankincense is a wonderful oil.
Actually, frankincense is such a spiritual oil.
It is.
And I know when I use frankincense, when I apply to the temple, I inhale, it automatically just makes you just come down.
Yes.
If you're up here at 8, it helps you to come down to like 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Very high vibration oil as well, and super good for the body. There's frankincense, you have a wide variety. You have sandalwood, the lemon, right?
Lemon, ylang
Ylang, cypress, there's
lavender.
just so many.
It's so many that's going to help just reduce your stress levels and keep that thought throughout the day. Yes, meditate in the morning, do your spiritual practice in the morning, but lunchtime, take that 5-minute break.
Minutes.
Afternoon, come home, take that 5-minute break before you start cooking dinner. You just want to carry that throughout your day.
Beautiful. Now, do you have any programs or anything? How do people connect with you so that they can work with you if we have folks out here that need your support?
Yes. So we have a cancer advocacy program at Bedside Manners where we work with cancer patients that are really just feeling overwhelmed by cancer diagnosis and just the process of healthcare. Our goal is to make healthcare easier. So you can contact us at Dr. Bedside Manners, and that's a doctor with a DR, Dr. Bedside Manners. And we have scientists like myself, we have wellness coaches, and we also have a cancer pharmacist that's on staff to help assist with your needs. And then our program that we have right now are our cancer fighting smoothies, which you can go online, you can download the cancer fighting smoothies 5 days and get that for free.
Oh, lovely.
And if you have a question, you can certainly reach out and do a complimentary call.
Absolutely. So we're going to actually put your email, your contact information in the discussion thread. Is there a way that they can directly talk to you?
Talk to me. You can call me, or text me at 678-310-8101, 678-310-8101. My Instagram and Pinterest is Dr. Bedside Manners.
Beautiful.
Dr. Bedside Manners, doctor with a DR.
Awesome. I love it. All right, y'all. This is Dr. D. She's the bomb. I'm so glad that there's someone like you. Because, I love that you have the science background and that you made the decision to work with folks to really kind of support the work that you're doing on the science academic side.
Yes.
So you can really look at things in multiple views. So I really appreciate that. And, we're just grateful that we have so many folks out here in our community that's just doing some good work like what you're doing.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. All right, y'all. You know how to reach me, chefbeee with 3es.com. The cookbook is coming. It will be delivered tomorrow. So this week I will be filling orders.
Okay,
all right?
I can place my
and
order.
we also have on Friday our book launch party. It will be right here at EB Fresh from 8 to 10:30.
Okay.
All right. A lot of good stuff.
Y'all come on out.
Come on out. chefbeee.com. We also have our plant-based meals to go program. That's 3 days, 5 days, and 7-day plans for folks who don't have the time to prepare foods and they need some healthy plant-based foods.
Yes.
So you can go to the website and you can check that out. You can learn more about essential oils. You can see these shows and more. all on chefbeee.com. All right?
Perfect.
So it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Go out there, learn a little bit more about what you can do to de-stress, get some more exercise, and to prevent cancer.
And examine your breasts daily in the
Ooh.
shower.
And you know what? We didn't get into that.
We didn't. I know.
We didn't get into that, but we should. Real quick. What do you think about the difference between just getting a mammogram versus thermography? You got to do that.
We have to do that, yes. Well, certainly, I think thermography is great. It's heat-based. It's looking at, areas in the breast that may have some calcifications or just occlusions, blockages. I think reading the thermography is key. You have to have someone who knows what they're doing to read it. I think the two can go hand in hand. Certainly, though, people do ask, well, mammograms, aren't I exposing my breast to breast cancer?
Right,
to potential cancer-causing agent, which is the radiation. And yes, over time, there is a slight increase, throughout the years, with exposure to mammograms. So you really have to talk to your doctor. I said, talk to your healthcare provider, see if they're open to you doing thermography maybe 1 year, switching to a mammogram the other year, the next year. I think you can look at both, but that's mainly the difference between the two: radiation versus heat-based.
Right, and then you can actually see where things are lighting up on the body. So where inflammation is present, that's what the thermography reading is going to
breast,
do.
things like that.
Yes.
So that's what thermography will do, and I think it's worthwhile for everyone to look into it.
Oh yeah, awesome. All right, so we had to say that.
Yes.
So we actually got to say everything.
I think we got everything we wanted to say.
Yes. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you soon. Have an awesome Sunday. And please take care of yourself, all right? Peace.